Black women, aren't you tired of the propaganda of us being viewed as strong but not soft, masculine but not feminine, combative but not pleasant? And this is what our men are saying about us. In the Black community, we were taught to be strong and educated, but not soft and feminine. Get on your feminine journey and join me on YouTube at Mrs. Danielle DeVita, my podcast, Feminine Energy with Danielle DeVita, or you can just book a session by going to mymentor.life/Danielle DeVita. Get on your feminine journey today.
So Larry Elder, he's running for governor of California. They have a recall election going on right now. It will be happening in a few days. And, I went to California maybe about a month or so ago. And, how California look right now, it was horrible. It was horrible. Beautiful state, but it's horrible. I mean, you have the homeless population. I mean, they all over the place. They're not like in a certain area. I mean, they just all over. The rent is extremely high. Gas is through the roof. People leaving California every single day to come to states like Texas to get away from the high gas prices, high cost of living. And I definitely agree with Dr. Jamil. Shout out to her. I got to meet Dr. Jamil and her wonderful husband while I was out there in California. And I understand why people are upset. Trust me. If I lived in California, I would be upset too. So Larry Elder, has been running, and he has, maybe a good chance. A lot of people are saying to possibly become the governor. I know, crazy as that sound. Now, Larry Elder is one we have talked about for years. Larry Elder makes sure to raccoon. He do it constantly. Okay. Now, every blue moon, he may have a point, but like I said, a broken clock is right twice a day. He's one of those types. But Larry Elder went on the Candace Owens show. And I want you to hear something that Larry Elder stated. This was the most uneducated thing that he could say. But let's go ahead and roll that clip.
Right behind them.
By the way, when you mentioned that the UK was ahead of us, they were. Do you know that the slave owners were compensated? After they lost their quote-unquote property, the government compensated slave owners.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and so when people talk about reparations, do they really want to have that conversation? Because, like it or not, slavery was legal. And so their property, their legal property, was taken away from them after the Civil War. So you could make an argument that the people that are owed reparations, and not only just black people, but also the people whose quote property, close quote, was taken away after the end of the Civil War.
Now, Larry Elder has no idea about the history of slave owners in the UK or America. But let's talk about the ones in the UK just for a quick minute. Yes, they got paid all the way up to about 2015 because their descendants was getting paid. And black people, the descendants of the slaves there, their tax dollars was going to the slave owners. So it stopped in 2015. But now let's talk about America. He said that we had a civil war because the slave owners lost their property and all things like that. Okay, there was something that Abraham Lincoln done, called the District of Columbia Emancipation Act. He signed this bill on April 16th, 1862, and it paid slave owners that was loyal to the Union $300 for every enslaved person freed. Now, if you translate that to 2021 standards based on the inflation, so they got paid $8,109 per slave. Do you hear me? To today's standards, $8,109. So let's say if a plantation had 100 slaves. So let's say if the plantation had 100 slaves, then by the federal government of the United States of America gave that slave master, according to the terms today of money, would be $810,900 for losing his 100 slaves. But those who were enslaved and their descendants received Nothing. So yes, reparations were paid to slave owners in the U.S. and in the UK. The British government owes reparations too, not just the American government. The UK government owes it, and many other European governments that practice slavery owe reparations to their descendants of slaves. Larry Elder, if you actually knew your history and wasn't focusing on raccooning so much, you would know this. This is American history you did not know. And you telling Candace Owens, say, I didn't know that because it didn't happen. What you saying that they didn't get paid? They did get paid, Larry. Now, Larry, what you should be focusing on is California. I mean, a lot of Democrats are concerned about you. It shocks me to say that, but they're concerned about you. They got Barack Obama campaigning for you, against you. Kamala is doing it. Talking about old Jim Crow Joe gonna go and campaign. They are really worried that you're gonna take California. Now, I know a lot of people say I ain't voting for him, but there's a whole lot of folks that saying they probably will. Now, let me tell you something, talking about voter blocks. You know, they talk about the Hispanic community voting. The Hispanic community don't vote Democrat. A lot of them vote Republican. And that's what they're concerned about. See, because they know black folks going to vote one way. They know black folks say, I ain't voting for no Larry Elder. I'm going to sit at, listen, that's what they're going to, you know what I'm saying? They know. They already know what you're going to do. That's why nobody worries about black people politically at all. That's why they dismiss black people. They say, we know they're going to vote Democrat. They ain't worried about that. But there's a lot of people in that state pissed off. Think about it. There's a lot of people in the state of California that lost their businesses. That they've been open for years, but Gavin Newsom shut down their businesses for an extended amount of time. When other states were open, he still had them shut down. But Gavin Newsom was in his restaurant with no mask on and enjoying himself while he told everybody else to be locked down. That's why the recall has happened. He literally ruining California. But when Larry Elder making comments like this, ain't nobody gonna support that. I couldn't support that. Even though I would think I would want Gavin Newsom out of there if I lived there, because the guy's horrible. He's so horrible. Trust me, he's ruining that state. And some people do vote for Larry Elder. They probably won't be off of they liking him or not. It probably be just getting Gavin Newsom out of there. But Larry Elder, if you're gonna talk about American history, at least talk about it right. I mean, man, you want to be the governor of California. Can you at least get a little education? Talking about running a state. You ain't got a raccoon that hard, man. You don't have to. But, leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about Larry Elder. Now, let me repeat this again. Abraham Lincoln, he signed a bill to make sure that slave owners received a reparation for losing their slaves. But they say they can't do this for black Americans. They can't do that. That's too much. Oh my God. How could that be done? Well, let's look at this District of Columbia Emancipation Act. Why don't you just do it the same way? Cut checks.
Starting your Locker Natural Hair journey is oh so rewarding, but can be extremely stressful when you start to consider what products to use. If that's you, then look no further. Locklicious is a black-owned company that has created an all-natural product line for locked and loose natural crowns. The Locklicious team works hard to ensure that their products are free of parabens, phthalates, sulfates, PEG, synthetics, and other toxic chemicals you find in other products. Best of all, the products are lightweight and will not leave residue or cause buildup. Go to locklicious.com to start treating your crown like royalty.
Thank you for watching, and make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out the African Diaspora News Channel app in the Google Play and Apple App Store.